Okay, great. Lamar, how was your night?
Trace was doing a great job dropping the ball down the field. Then I see my guy go down. And as I'm seeing him go down, like, I'm still stretching. Like, I got to get back. I'm catching the attitude because I'm like, man, it ain't going the way we want to. And then I see him go down, and I'm like, we got to start now. Like, we just got to go out there now. And I start running out there. Kel running with me. It's 4th down. And offensive line blocked their tail off, and our guys just made great catches, and we came out with the victory.
So just to clarify, you didn't have to use the bathroom or anything in the back, right? You know, there was a lot of talk on social media that you were kind of like jogging, like you had to use the bathroom or something.
No, I was cramping. I ain't putting a Paul Pierce. I didn't put a Paul Pierce. I was cramping.
Wheelchair.
I was telling Nate before the show, I had to Google that. Did not know, but I obviously saw what Twitter had to say. Huge win for the Ravens. One game closer to the wild card. The Browns stay in the 5 seed if the playoffs started today, guys. Cleveland would take on the Titans, and as you can see, Baltimore is not pictured here. Nate, it wasn't even the cramps Lamar had to fight through. He had the cleat issue. He was slipping and sliding all over the place, changed it up for the second half. Well, what did you think of last night's game of the year?
It was fantastic. First, let me just give a round of applause to both teams. What a Monday night game it was. For me, this was the Lamar Jackson experience that I've been asking for. And there's a couple of plays that stand out. Producers, just roll the tape. Right before halftime, there were a couple of plays that wowed me. Check out Lamar Jackson in the pocket collapsing around him. He's spinning around, and sometimes this doesn't work. In this game, this didn't work a couple of times. But then he finds Mark Andrews, who releases late, and they get in field position. So, of course, extending the plays with his legs in a way that only Lamar Jackson can do. And then after that, what does he do? He says, you know what? I'm just going to take matters into my own hands like a superhero. And he gets in the end zone. All year long, I've been looking at the camera. I've been talking to Lamar. I've been saying, if you're the man, if you're the dude that we think you are, if you're the unanimous MVP from last year, if you were as good as we all assumed you will be going into this season, then there's certain games where you just take over. There's certain games where Kobe said, I'm not passing the ball. Michael Jordan said, this is on me. There's certain games where, you know, our best quarterbacks say, it's going to be on me whether we win or we lose. 9 rushes, $124, 2 touchdowns on the ground. That's running back numbers. Fantastic running back numbers. I could care less about the 17 attempts. Don't even tell me about how much he passed the ball. The fact that he took the team and said, I'll place you right here on each shoulder, and I got you. That's what real MVPs do, and that's what he looked like last night.
Yeah, and it felt like he had Superman's cape there at the end, because here he comes running onto the field and then makes that big play on 4th down. But what's maybe lost in the highlight, Kyle, is that Baker had this incredible drive to then give the Browns a lead. So now it's Lamar's ball, and he's got to go the length of the field, and the season's on the line, and it's everything we've asked for. Can you win it with your arm when they need you to? And he could. This silences every doubt you could have about Lamar's ability to throw the ball and win a game with his arm and not rely on the legs. An incredible drive to put this into field goal position. It was Andrews, it was Snead, it was Andrews again. And I'm proud of Lamar Jackson this morning, because it's a game on national television where he shut up a lot of critics saying he cannot win the game with his arm when you need him to. All these other quarterbacks can get you on that drive. Lamar needs a 14-point cushion. Lamar needs a 10-point cushion. Lamar did everything he had to do, and he did it after being in the locker room with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left and running onto the field. The word is heroic, and I think that's all I can say about Lamar. Congratulations to the Ravens. An unbelievable victory, and Lamar Jackson shut a lot of people up last night.
After being in the locker room and also being on the COVID reserve list, too. Like we said it last week when he beat Dallas, like, this is terrifying if you're in the FC. You do not want to see Lamar get hot. It's, well, it was against the Cowboys defense. No, this was against a 9-3 team that he just did that. He looked awesome. And we have to understand really what happened in that moment in the 4th quarter. He has to pull himself out of the game. He said later, he said, my elbow, like his arm was starting to cramp, and then it spread to his legs. And he's doing the trot here. Candidly, the biggest joke on Twitter was that he has to go to the bathroom. He has to go to the bathroom. Now, Paul Pierce recently came out and admitted that the wheelchair moment was, I just had to go to the bathroom, after he's talked about it for 10 years. RG3, not playing in this game, shared a very funny meme about Lamar going to the bathroom, which is why Lamar was like, I didn't do a Paul Pierce. Stop. They get it. They start feeding him salt. He's sitting in the game. He might be done. If McSorley finishes the game, it's over. He's not going to do it. Comes out, and it's not just that he rejoined them. On the first play, he threw the biggest touchdown pass he has thrown all year.
Maybe in his career, Kyle.
Maybe in his career. This was the biggest Browns game in 25 years. and they just lost to Lamar coming off of the bench through an injury. And they're officially hot. Never mind, don't let them get hot. This was a moment. You know how emotional this team is. You know how much they love fun, how much they love rallying. It's over now. The cat's out of the bag. You let them win. You let them have the Willis Reed or Paul Pierce, whatever the hell moment. It might be too late. Like, Baltimore can go on a damn run. I know their defense was terrible last night. I believe in their coaches, but I believe in 8. 8 is back, and that is very scary for the AFC.
And it wasn't even just him. Let's just celebrate what we needed to go into 2021. This game, so many superstars. I love that we got to see Justin Tucker, who when he was out there, I know he's not perfect, but I was like, okay, they won this game. How great is that feeling to be a Ravens fan and have that comfort level with your kicker, Kevin Stefanski, on the other side, letting everyone in the whole country get to see what he can do creatively and effectively. Baker Mayfield, Marquise Brown, all of that. Lamar Jackson, though, this is that. Remember when Lamar did that game? He's technically never won a playoff game, but this was, in fact, an elimination game for this quarterback, for this team. So, I mean, I know he hasn't won a playoff game, and that's still going to hang over his head, but this was...
It was a moment.
This was the tattoo moment that you talk about so often, Kyle.
Can't you feel the energy at the table this morning?
Yeah.
This feels like a completely different set, a completely different show, and it's because Lamar just did the Superman thing, and he's the MVP. And it's like, he's back. That's my MVP. He's back. Yeah. And Cleveland,
that's my quarterback.
They would have won.
That's my quarterback.
It's too bad for Cleveland. They needed one more possession. They would have won.
And the Browns.
Baker was awesome.
Yeah, the Browns aren't done. You got to be excited about them, too. Exactly. We'll break this game down. We've got more highlights ahead. We're very excited this morning. But let's bring in Tom Pelissero this morning to give us an update around the league. Let's start with the Cowboys here. We got a little insight, actually, into the Jones family and how they feel about their head coach, Mike McCarthy. What's the latest there?
Okay, Cowboys executive Stephen Jones said there will be absolutely no change with Mike McCarthy. He has the utmost confidence that they will get the ship righted soon. And Jones also said he's surprised that there would even be a question about whether or not Mike McCarthy is back in 2021. Cowboys have had a lot of challenges for McCarthy to implement his program. Because of COVID-19, of course, all facilities closed in the offseason. They could not implement a new culture in the building. They could not implement a new and much more complicated defensive scheme on the field. And then you have all the injuries from Dak Prescott. They used 4 different starting quarterbacks. They had their entire starting offensive line wiped out. Defense, of course, has not been good enough. It did show signs of life last week against the Bengals in what defensive coordinator Mike Nolan called their most complete game of this season. Cowboys are still alive, barely, in the NFC East, and they will be looking for their first win streak of the McCarthy era on Sunday against the 49ers, okay?
Appreciate the update, Tom. How about this game last night, though? What'd you think?
I didn't sleep. Did you guys? That was the game of the year. There's no question about it.
Oh, man.
I've got all the under-eye concealer in the world this morning. Thank you so much, Tom. We love you. We'll talk to you in a bit.